guys, it's Faith Rivera here on Aloha Rising. We're going to talk mana, music, and magic. And today I don't know why I wanted to say I'm going to open up the vault. I don't have a vault. I'm just going to share some of my own story, and hopefully you'll find some inspiration around my journey with this thing called creativity and shining my light. And so joining me, of course, I have the producer of our show and my friend, Judy Mercier, right here.
Aloha, everyone.
Yay. And she's had her own journey, of shining her light more. That's really what it is, right? And finding that creativity.
Right.
So you're going to help me. You're going to draw the story out. So
I'm going to draw the story out. So, Faith, you started in music at a very young age.
I did. My parents, like typical Filipino parents, put me in piano, like at first grade. Yeah, so I was playing piano that whole time. And I don't know if I told you this, but I tried to quit in the 8th grade because everyone else quit, because we were taking from all the sisters, from all the nuns. So I love them, but it wasn't the funniest experience.
So you were going to quit the piano?
Oh, heck yeah. I was like, everyone else quit. Can I please
I quit in 6th grade.
See, you're one of the quitters that did it, successfully. I did not. I said, I'm going to quit in 8th grade. And, the principal called me into the office. Sister, come on. Where's it? Sister Marie Celeste. And she said there was no way she'd allow me to quit piano. So, I already know, like, that was the hand of the divine or somebody saying, like, nope. Re-steering me back, you got to do this, girl. So by the 8th grade, I'd written my first song, pretty cheesy song called Danger, Did you watch all those detective shows? Like, I used to watch, like, This Dating Me, Remington Steele, and who else? The Bruce Willis one, Moonlighting.
Moonlighting, yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. So it's called Danger. And so anyway, by the time I was a senior in high school, I had an all-girls band. We were terribly shy. All these like 4 Asian girls singing like Pat Benatar. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing actually. But we had a manager. We toured the island on Oahu. That's where I was. And he actually secured a record deal with an international label, Azra International. And so I released my first original. It was this beautiful little cheesy ballad for Nolan, my longtime boyfriend then and hubby now, and they were on these star-shaped albums, like a legit records. That's how old school it was. And even though all of that, I chickened out of going to music school. I had enough nerve, I think, to apply for Berklee College of Music, but I chickened out. And the story in my head was, I can't do music.
And why? Why couldn't you do music? Why did you feel like you couldn't do music?
Fear. Yeah. From those piano recitals, every time they put me out on the stage, well, the moments before they put me on stage was complete panic in the back of the auditorium, no, the backstage, trying to remember the song.
Stage fright. You had incredible stage fright.
It was, yeah. I can still feel the weight of it when I talk about it.
Do you have it anymore?
Moments of it. I think those kinds of, fear and stuff, like they linger like in your cells.
How did you get to the point of being able to, because obviously you didn't quit, thankfully.
But I kept trying to quit. Yeah.
But you didn't. And so how did you get through that? How did you do it anyway?
Yeah. Well, one, I think like intervention, right? Like my principal saying you can't quit. And, the story I was talking about, how I said, I'm not going to go to Berklee College of Music. So I was resisting it. So I went to College of Notre Dame in Northern California. But the music's there, like the bug, the passion, the thing is gnawing at me, I think, And so it was my sophomore year, and I saw there was a talent show. And so there was no pressure. I'm not doing music. So I walk into the piano place, right? I start writing this really beautiful music line. I loved the song, the musically. I could not hear the lyrics, even though I wrote it. And the first words are, can you hear the little voice? So quiet now, so tired, telling you, to freaking do your thing. That's not the lyrics, but, but that was the point. So I performed that song. with this blue light on this grand piano on this stage, and it's a song that would change my life. And in fact, maybe let's listen to it right now.
Yeah, and the title?
Don't Let the Music Die.
Can you hear the little voice? Quiet now, so tired, telling you to reach into that heart of yours. Don't ignore the dream that's calling, the spirit moving through you now. Slowly growing louder, stronger, be free. The walls are falling down, the music's breaking through the clouds. Come and feel the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a song that's been unsung far too long. God, don't let the music die. The time has finally come. Cry no more. Open your wings, go and soar. The music lifts you higher. Believe your heart, it's beat, the rhythm that surrounds you now. Slowly growing louder, stronger, be free. The walls are falling down, the music's breaking through the clouds. Come and feel the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a song that's been unsung far too long. God, don't let the music die. For the first time in my life, I'm drowning in all the joy, the rapture. This moment is mine. Be free. The walls are falling down, the music's breaking through the clouds. Won't you come and feel the warmth of the sun, the beauty of a song that's been unsung far too long. This moment is mine.
So after the song was done, it was silent. And then 200 people stood up in this auditorium. It was like a roar. They're all like clapping. And I could see in the front row, this woman was crying. And even then, I was like, well, let me say this. What I wrote about in my song, as you just heard, came true. The music was heard. The sun broke through the clouds. And, you know, my finer words were, this moment is mine, right? And it's about owning that moment. And even then, when it was like, hello, this was, your music's being heard. I wanted to run away. I ran backstage and they're cheering. And I told Nolan, right, my husband, I was like, I can't do this. And so many times we want to run away from our own greatness. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever had that? You might not have. Have you ever had that experience?
No.
Wow. I mean, I'm happy for you, but wow. For everyone else tuning in, because I know there's many that have had that experience, and in some ways it's embarrassing almost, like, come on. But in another way, we were talking on another show, you said the risk isn't there. When your fear is that real, it feels like it's like your whole life. Like you can't, like I can't go out there and do it. Yeah.
But you kept going.
Well, I did. I mean, after something like that, I went to Cal State Long Beach and finished my music degree. Yeah. And then I tried to quit again. I did. I became a nutritional. I was some kind of file clerk at a nutritional lab.
And what kept bringing you back?
What you mean, to the music?
To the music.
Well, okay. Well, I'll tell you the story. So I was this clerk it was 6 months total, but because I'm a go-getter, so in 6 months I became the assistant to the vice president. I mean, kind of like they're not like of the company, but
Right.
his assistant. And I had planned the company picnic in California. So I'm out there. It's 100-degree weather, right? And people are doing potato sack, and I'm just looking around, going, "Is this my life?" I mean, it was just like a check-in moment. Everyone needs a check-in moment when you're like, is this mine to do? So it was always there, Judy. It was always there. But here's the beautiful thing of why I really honor and am thankful for the journey I've had, is because it meant so much to me to give that joy to other people that maybe had so much fear.
Right.
And which is why it led to this everyday superstar experience. Do you kind of know how it started?
I don't.
Okay. So it started here, which I forgot to say. We are streaming again from am I saying right? Ormond Beach here in Florida. I had emailed my list, my group of fans, and said, hey, and this is when I was starting to find the joy now, right? Of like, oh my God, it's so much more fun when everyone's singing and dancing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of giving anybody permission to express themselves in my concerts. So I emailed and said, hey, I'm doing a women's conference. I forget which city, maybe St. Petersburg. And I said, who wants to sing and dance with me? So Wendy Thomas emails me and said, I'm going to be there. And she gets her daughter, her best friend, another daughter, a grandma shows up, and they're going to do it with me. They learned like one or two of my songs. So I show up, and I didn't know they like got a hotel, they got a limo. And she told me then, which I had no clue, she had suffered panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
Like her whole life. And she was going to break
through that.
Yeah, break through that at this event. I was like, man, that's huge, right? And I had my experience. I was really, I don't know if the word is proud, but I was really moved and inspired by her story. So we're practicing, and we got about 10 minutes before we're supposed to perform. And so we're backstage. All of a sudden, I think like one of the teens starts crying because she's so nervous. Let me ask you, because you're like, a lawyer in all these trials, so you don't feel that nervousness even when you
There's
go on
always
trial?
a level of nervousness, but it's once once you get in, I'm always well prepared when I go into something. You
Got
might
it.
have a little bit of nervousness, but
Yeah,
the minute I start talking, it's gone.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Probably like when you start singing.
Huh.
Not the same way.
For some people, it's not that easy, Judy. Okay, so anyway, so we're in that room, and one of the teenagers starts crying because she's getting nervous. One of the moms, like someone's knees couldn't stop shaking. And I realized like I'm on the verge of a fever, right? And my ego, my mind was just like, what in the heck was I thinking bringing
What was
all
I
these,
doing?
bringing all these amateurs with me to do a professional job. So we go on stage, and the good thing about me, as you hopefully can tell, is that, I can't help but be just myself. So on that stage, I said, these are not professionals with me. these are moms and daughters and a grandma, and they are here facing their biggest fear, living their biggest dream. Will you support them? And of course, the crowd went crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah, yeah. And when they perform, we were talking in the other show about, the vibes being contagious. Inspiration was contagious. For those people to see these women break through their own fear, it's like you're breaking through their own fear. So that's what really launched what I had called Everyday Superstars, where I would travel around the country and would offer this experience where they could learn my songs. And I would say, there's no wrong way to do this. All we want is for you to express what's in your heart.
You're giving the freedom to do whatever they can do.
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
dance,
yeah.
That's awesome.
So I would love for you to share a little bit. You said, "Oh, I used to dance and da da da," and then you stopped.
Yeah, I wasn't like a professional dancer.
No, I know, but
I
the
would get up
joy-
and dance and stuff like that. And then
is that in your 20s or
yeah,
like when?
and then life happened, and careers happened, and seriousness happened, and
Weird seriousness happened.
and then there was no more dancing, and I might be sitting at some place or a party or something like that, and feel like I want to, but I just couldn't.
How weird.
I just didn't have it anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And that's gone now, you know.
Well, okay, so we have to. So when did you find the groove again? When did you dance again?
At this concert in Orlando that we had last week.
Well, no, but also you danced when we had a private concert out in Hawaii.
I yes.
Yeah,
I did
where
get up.
you had a mental battle, and she saw my son get up there, and my teenage son go and shake his, little
Yeah,
booty.
he dedicated that song to me. Let It Out. What a perfect song to let
Yeah,
it out.
hello.
But even in the beginning, I couldn't get up, and one of your friends came up to invite me up to go and dance, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And then I was like, I got to do it. I got to get up. And it's kind of the same way when I had to reach out to you.
Oh, okay.
2 years earlier.
It wasn't because I dedicated the song to you?
It was
Yeah, it
a
was
combination
just
of
a
everything, but it was like,
moment,
it's
yeah.
time, I got to do it,
Yeah. So you did. And so, she had offered me the chance to share my music here in Orlando, which is why, I'm here in Florida right now, with a full band, with a venue. In one of our meetings, Judy says, "Hey, don't you have dances to your songs?" Because I'm a dancer wannabe, by the way. I love dance, possibly even more than singing. Yeah.
And a lot of your songs, you have movements already.
Yeah, I
as
do.
part of when you're
I
singing.
do, but my question was, well, why are you asking? And so, I may not have told you that, she is a litigation partner with the multinational law firm Holland and Knight. So already you're thinking, okay, maybe not a dancer, but still, she asked for dance moves. And, Judy, you have to tell me, what was the inspiration of you then asking all the other lawyers and assistants if they wanted to dance?
I thought it'd be an amazing experience. And like I said, I love your music. It's danceable. And I knew a number of people that I know at the firm would have a blast, would have such fun.
Because
and
their
bring the energy.
personalities and
Yeah,
stuff? Or?
and they're open. And
Wow.
it was amazing
Wow.
putting it together in our rehearsals. And
Yeah.
it was just,
Because it might just sound like normal and natural to you. Because what I'm gathering, and you have to fill me in, is that you were just feeling so much like joy in it that it was easy. But for a person listening, it was like, okay, wait, you didn't dance anymore. Then you danced once in Hawaii, and then now you're dance captain, of lawyer,
but I knew some of the people I was asking were dancers.
Oh,
I knew
okay,
they could do it.
That's fair.
And one of my
That's
favorite
fair.
stories, I walked into one of the associates' offices and said, "Look, you have a minute? Can I talk to you about this?" And I told her about the concert. I told her about we're getting dancers together, and she's like, "I'm like, would you want to find out if you'd like to participate?" And she's like, "Oh, heck yeah, absolutely." It's like fantastic. I go to turn around, and she's like, that's the last thing ever I thought was going to be coming out of your mouth when you came into my office and said you have a minute. So
Yeah.
people were not expecting that from me.
Yeah.
Because it's
yeah.
not how I show up.
Well, and
at
I
work
was
anyway.
gonna say, did you surprise yourself? But I think, what you and I have been sharing about our journey in the previous show is just that we're just finding more of ourselves, and kind of like the kids we saw and everyone dancing at
Yeah.
the Orlando concert. it's so easy because it's so natural, I think, for us to be in the joy of singing and moving together.
Yeah, it was definitely the community connection that I had with a group of people that
Yeah.
we worked on these moves over a number of weeks. It was probably 4 weeks, and it's not. It was at lunchtime in a conference room. We put the blinds down. We put
So fun.
we put your dance, instructional video up on the
Oh my
screens, and we
God.
just learned it. And it took us it took us a number of times, and we're like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's learn this.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have a couple of people who know the moves, and they just kind of call out, okay, this is at this point, these are the moves we'll be doing,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was an evolution, and it was fun.
Wow. And by the way, I have to say a lot of these dances to my videos are actually on YouTube for any of you that want to join the lawyers. No, I'm kidding. I mean, and just get your groove on. I do want to share one other story that was really, pivotal for me. And I think, okay. So this is once I graduated from college. And I was teaching voice lessons, because I'm trying to find my way. What am I going to do now? And the first guy that called, did he call or his daughter called? Well, okay, long story short, his name is Bert Mentor, and he called, and his voice is all shaky on the phone. Oh, can I take, singing lessons? He's in his 70s. And he talked about how when he was 4 years old, which was long time ago, right? His mom took away his tap shoes and put it away. And I was like, this man has been living with this, I don't know, urge, this gift, this longing to express himself. But with the mom shutting it away, he just kind of put that
Put it
part
down.
away. But somehow he found the courage to call me. And I said, can I come take a lesson? I said, of course, right? I mean, I had no other students. So I was like, come, please come. So Bert shows up. He has one tooth because he smokes a lot. He had one tooth. He had emphysema, so he couldn't breathe very well. He couldn't sing through any song because he was so moved. He would cry through all his Elvis Presley songs. And then when I'd play a C note, he'd sing a B, meaning he couldn't match the pitch.
Yeah.
And so as this young, voice teacher, my first student, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? I don't even know what, but I knew I could show up. So I showed up. He showed up every week. We come to find out he could, he wanted to write a song or two. He had fallen in love with this grocery clerk who was in her 30s. I don't even know if she really knew him, but he was inspired and he wrote these songs for her, 4 love songs. I think one was called Queen of Hearts. So he'd show up and we'd write his songs, and I just did simple piano and we recorded them. So his family heard it. And his daughter was just couldn't believe, kind of we had been talking about earlier, seeing yourself differently, his daughter had never seen him with
Like
that
that,
joy.
yeah.
And so they heard these songs. And you know what? It was a year I had with him that Bert then passed away. I mean,
wow.
and so I usually tell his story along with that song, Don't Let the Music Die, because how many of us, hold ourselves back? And not to say that everyone wants to sing or dance, but hold yourself back from expressing what's in your heart.
Right. And how amazing that he was able to do that
Yeah.
after all those years. And
Yeah. Yeah. And the joy that was there.
Yeah.
So, and I know that some of the, the lawyers and assistants that came, you said many of them were dancers, so they were gung ho, but were there any at all that were more like me, I want to, but I'm a little
and
bit.
some people did it because I asked them.
Oh, you
they're-
mean
they're
they felt forced? Got
they're
it.
not
Got
forced, but they're only for Judy would I do this kind
Yeah.
of thing. And they overcame, whatever was in their way
Yeah.
to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And it's
and
a
just have-
personal journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, no one was forced to do it. No, but it's
Yeah.
don't want to do it, no worries. But the ones, our final group that came
That showed up.
was so much fun.
Yeah.
It really was. It was so much
Yeah.
fun.
Well, it makes it more fun for me when everybody's up and dancing. So before we end our show, though, maybe we can just share a little bit of what are some takeaways that we can share with people from these stories? And you probably are getting them already. I mean, it's one loud message: don't let your music die.
Yes, and whatever your music is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And what else is there? Let me see about the fear. Man, focus is such a big thing. And, I wish I had known that when I was growing up, because I didn't know that all I was doing was focusing on the fear versus focus on the things you love, the parts you love. Maybe you really love that song. Maybe you really love find the things you love instead of, I would beat myself up, during performances about that fear, So
You know that phrase, feel the fear and do it anyway?
I guess so. Yeah, I did.
'Cause
That's
it-
what
you-
I've kept doing.
Yeah, because you can't stop the feelings from
You
coming up.
can't. You can't.
But it's okay. Sometimes you can feel it and do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know how true this is, but I kind of, because I had to go through every single hack or trick to, get myself to keep going. But part of me felt like, when there's so much fear and resistance, it's probably something you really, really have to do. Like there's something else on the other side of it. And I think what our story is sharing, yours like mine, is, man, the joy that's on that other side, the joy and then the service that you bring by just being joyful. Like I remember I would have these sing dance shine play shops, where it was helping people move through their fear. And I tell them, because their ending, like, not project but experience, is that they would then get to perform with me. And I told them the performance is not about having the right moves. It's not about looking a certain way. I said, all I want you to do is get to an authentic space of fun and joy, because that, more than anything, is going to inspire other people. So
Yeah. So what I was telling our group, our crew of dancers, was like, we're not the performance. Faith's the
you're putting the pressure on me, but go on.
Faith is the performer. We're here to support that and
true.
to encourage other people to get up and dance. So there's no pressure about, I don't if I don't get this move right or my transitions. It's not about that. We're up and creating the joy and letting and people got up and danced too. I mean, it was that's what we were trying to do. You know, let people feel that. Well, I'm really glad that you continued on in music.
Yeah, me too.
And you have no idea how many people you have impacted through your music. I mean, just think about it. I sat on it for 12 years. Do you know how many other people are out there?
I don't.
It is. You made a difference.
Call me up. Let me know. Yeah. But we each have our story, and I think my story would not have unfolded this way if I didn't have that intense fear to overcome. Right. And what else do I want to say about this? So I think everyone has the takeaway. You just got to shine. And let me give this added piece is, you look at our world right now and everything that's going on. If there were a moment to break through your fear and do it anyway, the it that's calling you, this is the time. This is why we're here. This is why we're doing this podcast. And you know what? Judy, like I said in the other show, we connected because I put out about my self-love retreats, and not very many people got back to me, but it's not about numbers or about anything. It's about you being more fully you. And man, you can't predict like what's on the other side of it.
Right.
Except that joy. So what's my dare? We're always daring people. We're going to dare. Let me think.
I say join us in this Aloha Rising.
Yeah, for sure. But I'd love you to dare yourself to. I'm gonna get inspired by. I think Judy, I called you one time and said you were dancing through the hallway in your house or something. Yeah, I just would love for you to write back and be like, turn on your favorite song and just. I want to know that you danced through your house or wherever you're at, or you just like sang at the top of your lungs, like your favorite song on your commute to work, and just, I don't know, just have fun with it. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
So thank you again for joining us on Aloha Rising. We see you. We know you're way more than you think you are. And together we're just lifting the vibe. We're lifting that frequency. And As everything. Us showing up like this and shining together, that is everything. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. And just keep flowing. Know who you are, because we do. We're superstar. Aloha.
Aloha.
Let's go.